KCAU 9 Sports and Midwest Sports Plus present the 2025 High School Football Media Day live stream, brought to you by Wayne State College.
Hello, thanks for joining us and welcome to our second ever Iowa and Siouxland High School Football Media Day here. Anthony Mitchell, the sports director here at KCAU, alongside me, the one and only Pat Schultz, now of Midwest Sports Plus. Pat, thanks so much for stopping by.
Absolutely. This time of season is so exciting, talking to the coaches and players. So much optimism going into the season. Going to be another great year of high school football.
Looking forward to it. And of course, Pat, for you guys, a very busy summer. We'll get a bit more into that later. But without further ado, let's head right into the show. I know this is what everyone here is looking for. Let's start with our first team here. And what better way to start than right here in our own backyard here, the Black Raiders of Sioux City East. Thanks, guys. It's head coach Mike Winklepleck and company stopping by, the KC9 studio coach and company. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Pat, we'll let you start.
Absolutely. East High, the Black Raiders, one of our featured schools, of course. So very familiar with Coach Winklepleck and his football program. And last year, such an exciting year, that tough last-second field goal loss to Valley. But, Coach, big things coming up this season. A lot of returning players.
Yeah, kids have been working hard, in the off-season and in the weight room. And it's been a good summer. So we're excited. Kids are excited, and we're ready to go.
I'll go, Cal, obviously for you, quarterback last year, you were able to kind of see things from a different perspective. I mean, what were some of the main takeaways for you just from how last season ended and what you guys were able to accomplish?
We had a great receiving core last year, so hopefully our receivers this year can build off of that, and I can get the ball to guys this year.
Pitt, a lot of returning starters this year on the offensive and defensive line. Going to be a strength this year for you guys.
For sure. I think we've all been in the gym a lot, getting stronger and faster, so I think it will just dominate up front this year.
Now, coming into the offseason, Coach, what were some of the main things you guys wanted to work on, and how did you guys attack that in the offseason?
Obviously, it was getting stronger. I think our guys did a great job with the nutrition aspect and in the weight room. We had to get bigger that way up front, you know what I mean? We're able to sustain some of those big 5A schools and stuff like that. So that's been a huge emphasis for us. I think the guys have done a great job with that. And then it's just getting back to the basics and the culture stuff. We got to get lined up right. We got to know our assignments. We got to pursue the football. We got to tackle and do the right things. And the kids have done that, and it's been exciting. And we're just kind of ready to go.
I know, Pat, you've been able to cover these guys plenty. Same here. I mean, just for you guys, football is a game of inches. Just talk about the importance of doing those little things right and how it just really adds up for you guys. Cal, I'll start with you. Just football is, a game of inches, like doing the little things right. I mean, you guys just try to continue to do that. How important is that?
Oh, yeah. Like every day we talk about we have a 41 principle. Go past the line, go the extra yard, and that's going to help you win football games for sure.
Pat, what do you think?
I think same thing. If you don't do that extra yard, that could be a game changer in the game. You could lose that game or win it just because of that one extra yard.
Coach, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just daily discipline. We talk about stuff like that all the time. It's doing the right thing all the time. Penalties, stuff like that. We have to have structure. We have to have discipline. And if we don't have those things are things that can cost you throughout the game. So I emphasize that. The guys probably roll their eyes a little bit too much, but on it, you know what I mean? Because I beat it like a drum daily, and it's just doing the right thing all the time. And
Coach, you have a couple of multi-sport talented players here at Cal, first team All-State, big school in baseball, and Pitt placing high in golf, of all things. But you have a tremendous group of all-around athletes. Chris Ford, just outstanding player. Kason Claiborne. You got a lot of talent this year.
Yeah, it's great. You like to have multi-sport guys because they're competing throughout the year. They're not just one sport athletes to where that's their only sport specific. You like to see what they can do, and they get that competitive juices going and stuff. You can't teach somebody how to compete. You know what I mean? It's kind of more of a learned behavior, and the more and more they do it, the better off they're going to be.
Indeed. And Coach, compete you will. Your schedule, oh boy, it's not for. It's going to be a tough one. A lot of tough road games against big schools.
Yeah, every game's tough. So we're going to take it 1 week at a time and just see what happens, But yeah, obviously you want to be battle tested and stuff, and we're 5A football. We play the biggest class, and we got the toughest schedule. You wouldn't want it any other way.
Still relatively early for you guys just as a group, but what have you liked the most kind of in the preseason work?
We got some great leadership, We have a lot of returners coming back and stuff, so guys are familiar with what we're doing offensively and defensively. So schematic-wise, our guys are familiar with it, and they know what type of tempo we need at practice and stuff. They know the expectations. So it's get in, get our work done, and get out. And the guys have done a great job with that, and it's just hopefully it's going to continue.
Cal, big numbers last year, a lot of talented receivers and running backs this year. What are your thoughts about your offense?
I think we got a good offense coming back in this next year. I mean, it's all going to come down to executing the plays, knowing your assignment and alignment, and doing your job. But I mean, we got the pieces to have a really good offense this year.
City rival, first pit against North on a Thursday night, so a highlight game indeed. And what do you think about this opener coming up?
I think it'll be a good game. I think we go out there and play and don't overlook them. It shouldn't be too hard, but other than that, I think it should be a pretty good game.
How about some of the learning lessons? What do you think, like I mentioned the takeaways earlier, but what were some things that you really were able to kind of build off of from the end of last year just coming into this year?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to every play matters, you know. There was a couple chances that we had in that game in the playoffs where if we make that play, it probably gives us a better chance to win that game and stuff. Just that take it one play at a time and trust your teammates. And our guys believe that no matter who's in front of us, that we have an opportunity. So.
Indeed. So looking forward to your season. It's going to be outstanding. Of course, we'll be covering you at Midwest Sports Plus. You guys always put on such a great show for us.
Last question for you guys. I mean, just talk about, I mean, if there's one thing collectively, the key for you guys just to continue to sustain the success you have and potentially take that next step, what do you think it's going to be?
Trust in each other and just go to work each and every day. You know, I think we have some really talented kids. We just got to make sure that we're playing Black Raider football and we're doing it each and every day and doing the right things.
I think bringing energy and playing together, it's a big part of football. You got to have all 11 guys playing to the football, running the same stuff. So,
Pat, what do you think?
I think that if every kid on that team is watching a lot of film and just know what they need to do in that game, I think it would be very solid for us.
Well, Pat, sounds like a very exciting East season on the way here for the Black Raiders. Coach Wink and company, thanks, guys, for stopping by.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
Yep. The Black Raiders starting the season. How about some Thursday night football here against Sioux City North, an all-local game here. Pat, should be an exciting one, and also nice Thursday night football game to start the season.
And a city game on top of that. North versus East doesn't get any better than that. Should be a great crowd and should be a lot of fun.
That's right. Obviously, we had plenty of fun talking to Sioux City East. We're going to switch gears here to some small school action, but hey, we love the small schools here. Galen Catholic, the Jays, Coach Schindler and company stopping by. Thanks, guys, for taking the time.
Yeah, sounds good, man. This is a lot of fun.
So obviously, you know, like I kind of just mentioned with the Black Raiders, they're pretty early kind of now in the preseason work, the off-season work. I know you guys had stuff in the summer, but what were some of the things that you liked, some of the main takeaways?
Yeah, I think we've had a really good summer program. You know, we went to a team camp this past week, and you know, the guys competed really hard at camp. You know, they put in the work over the summer, and we're just really excited to get the season going and just kind of build off of last year's successes.
And you talk about that. I mean, what were some of the takeaways that you were able to grab from last season? Hey, we can really build on this and make something special.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing last year is that our guys learned that it really takes hard work. You can have all the talent in the world if you don't work hard and put in the effort, whether that's in film study or whether that's in the weight room or just on the practice field. You got to work hard to be successful, and I think our guys really learned that last year, and so that's something we're hoping to carry forward this year.
Coach, has there been a point of emphasis of what you wanted to get better at going into this coming season that you didn't feel you were very good at last year?
You know, I think the biggest thing that we have to replace a lot of leaders, and so I was looking at some of these guys, this incoming senior class, to really step up, and I've really been happy with their growth as leaders this summer. And so that's something that we want to continue what those other seniors last year did for us and just continue to build off of that. And so I've been really happy with their growth as leaders.
And you talk about the seniors, I mean, just kind of, I mean, for you guys now, and I will say I love those Galen Catholic jerseys, by the way. Just, you know, some of those seniors, what kind of have they left behind, and what are you kind of hoping to do to continue just what they've created?
I just hope we grow as a team. You know, we got some great underclassmen coming up as well, too. So I think we're ready to fill the shoes and see what happens overall.
What do you think?
I mean, they always brought the energy and kept us in line. So just got to do the same thing.
Dane, the big guys up front, they're the key. What have you guys done in the off-season to get better?
Weight room.
And it looks like it.
Yep.
Landon, your football team is explosive. You guys can move the ball and score some points. Is that going to be the emphasis? Outscore people, or do you just want to play solid football?
For sure, outscore people, and I think our strong suit is definitely going to be our defensive side of it. I think we got a lot of people coming back on defense, and we got some great people that are going to fill some holes for sure. So, yeah.
And obviously a real nice year for you guys last year, of course, still looking to accomplish more. Just the way that last season kind of ended, do you think that was a bit of a motivator coming into this year?
Oh, absolutely. It didn't end the way we wanted it to. We ran into a really good Woodbury Central team, and obviously they got the revenge for us beating them in the regular season. They won the one that mattered the most, and so that's something that our guys they want to take that next step. They want to be a dome team. They want to get down to play in the big games, play late into November, and so that's kind of what these guys have been striving for, and they've been really motivated by that loss.
And Landon, just from a player perspective, how has this group attacked the offseason? What have you guys really done to say, hey, this is what we need to work on, and this is what we're going to do to make it better? I know you talked about weight room, but aside from that,
a lot of chemistry building, definitely on 7-on-7 for sure. We have a lot of things to work on yet as well. So just working hard in 7-on-7 and just building that chemistry overall, I think that's going to be the most important thing.
And Coach, obviously, you mentioned the senior class. A lot of those guys obviously no longer in the program and what they were able to do statistically. Just talk about the guys on this roster and the potential they have to really fill that gap.
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys who are ready to step up, and we didn't have to use them a lot last year, especially on the offensive side of the ball when you have Cole McCarty and Cale Pearson doing their thing. That's great, and it's really easy. But we have a lot of talented guys on the offensive side, and I think we're going to be a little bit more diverse on the offensive side of the ball this year, and so I think that's going to really help us win games.
Coach's schedule looks rather balanced. Do you prefer tough teams right off the bat, or do you like to build up to the tougher competition towards the end?
I think the only way you can get better is by playing good quality teams. And, this is probably one of the toughest schedules we've had in a long time. I talked to the guys at camp. I said, I don't think there's a game on our schedule that we can't win. But I also think, we could lose any game on our schedule. I think we're very balanced, a lot of good football teams. We're going to face a lot of teams that are really well coached, and those are the type of games we like to play, and we want to play high-level competition, and we want to test ourselves.
And if you kind of had to identify, maybe just like a one big thing or an X factor, collective question for all three of you, what would you say?
I just think physicality. Obviously, the strength of our team is probably going to be our offensive and defensive fronts. We got all those big guys returning, which is awesome. But just physicality and putting in the work each and every day.
Mm-hmm. I think our biggest challenge is going to be putting points on the board for sure. As I said, we got a fresh offense for sure, so it's going to be a little rough at the start, but I think we're ready for that. I saw it in camp. We turned it around really good at the end of the camp, so I think that'll be the best thing.
Yeah, I'd say putting points on the board. We just got to work each and every day and get better. So.
Well, looking forward to what should be a very exciting season for Galen Catholic Coaching Company. Thanks so much for stopping by to our High School Football Media Day.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And the Jays, here we go. Week 1 matchup here up against Hinton. The Blackhawks made it to state last year. An early test, but should be a fun game for Galen Catholic. Pat, what do you think?
Oh, indeed. Hinton, one of our featured schools. We're looking forward to that one. Yeah, indeed.
And here we go. Our first South Dakota team. I know we just had a couple of Iowa teams here. It's the Dakota Valley Panthers. Coach Reinhardt and company. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping by.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Pat, I'll let you do the honors.
You bet. I'm squeezing in here, big Coach Reinhardt. Dakota Valley, very familiar with the program, and Coach in his first year last year. Such an exciting team. So many exciting games. Coach, going into this season, you got your first one under your belt. What do you see coming into this coming season?
Yeah, it's been an awesome off season. We already looked at what we did in the past and try to get a little more balance this year between our offense and our defense. We have some key returning starters from last year. We're not a big team, but the guys we have coming back, I feel, are going to fill those roles and fill it with a great perspective, too.
Coach, you open right away, Del Rapids, just right off the bat. Do you enjoy that big, tough opener, knowing where your football team is?
We're a team that gravitates to competition. 2 years ago, Del's wins the state championship. We come back, play them last year. They're a team. I think you always rise to your competitor, and I feel great what we're doing. We have already started game planning against Dells. The things we're bringing to the arena with our offense, I think, is awesome. Tied to Georgia, first time starting quarterback, but brings a wealth of knowledge. You guys know the late, great JD, Jared Georgia, truly primed him for what we're doing. We're really working outside of things we've ever really done at DV, and I'm excited to see some of this, how it's going to play out in the field.
And Coach, just like Pat said, obviously a real big week one game. Do you think that's a measuring stick opportunity for the Panthers?
Yes, for sure. I think, every week is a measuring stick, but right now, Dells is our first opponent up, and I think for us, we have to just continue to play our game, use our weapons that we have. We have some great all-conference selections coming back. I think where the direction we're going, what these guys are doing off the field as well as on the field, the culture we're bringing, I think we're going to be definitely excited, and it's going to be a great measuring tool at what we've done in the past.
Well said, Coach. And obviously you mentioned a lot of exciting things going on. Ty, you're a quarterback now. Just talk about kind of what you've been going through this offseason to grow and just get yourself ready to be QB1 for the Panthers.
It's obviously a great feeling. I've been working really hard with my teammates. We're putting in extra work, not just at practice, not just in the weight room, but we'll go to the field, throw routes, we'll do extra training, and that's just really gotten me ready. And I'm thankful that my teammates have just put trust in me, and I truly trust them. So.
That's awesome. And collective question for all three now. I mean, we talk about, obviously, football, game of inches, doing the little things right, just how important that is. What have you guys done as a program to really execute that and get ready for, your first games here in a couple weeks? Start with you, Ty.
I'd say just going back to the hard work and trust, knowing that the guy next to me is going to put in full effort every time. When we do our sprints, knowing that Seth Reinhardt, Tegan Hoffman, they're going to push me to be faster, finish through the line every single time.
Yeah, going along with that, especially during conditioning and stuff, even if we think we're done, we still got more. We still can go further. There's just that fourth quarter. What if we go into overtime? We definitely can always work harder.
Yeah, we've really built up our culture and our brotherhood, knowing that there's 2 times to be great, we want to and we don't want to. We always push ourselves and really build that brotherhood and become strong, we're a real family.
I might have to steal that saying. That was pretty good. Pat, what do you think? Anyone with a TV here?
I was so impressed last year, and Seth, up front, you guys were so good. You had a star-spangled season as a sophomore. You've had a great summer this year. Are the big fellas ready to play?
Yeah, definitely. We're working hard on the line for sure. Definitely, but we got a lot of guys going both ways, but we'll be good, and definitely our teammates on the line, they'll be ready to play.
Going into your junior season, what did you feel you needed to get better at? You've got noticeably bigger, I can tell you that. What are some of the things that you learned from last year that you want to get better on this season?
Definitely just helping the younger guys out, building them up so they can become players like I did. Easton Van Scoy did that with me. I was a freshman coming into the program. He helped me when he was a junior, really to become what I am now.
Ty, is it comforting having these big fellas in front of you as a young quarterback?
I'd say it's probably the best feeling. I think we have the best O-line, D-line in the state by far. Big fellas eat, so I'm thankful to have those boys up front. We do a lot of team bonding, quarterback and lineman stuff, so it definitely pays off. So
you were the leader of the defense last year. How do you feel defensively you're going to be with the Panthers this season?
With our coaching staff, we have one of the best coaching staffs in the state, I feel. So, our defense, we have Coach Nick Taylor, our college coach, coming in and coaching up our defense with the guys we got returning like Jake Pick and Jack Jones. We're really going to be strong, and I think we're going to do great things.
Does your head coach have any enthusiasm towards football?
Oh, he loves it. He's a defense-first guy just like me. We're all defense. Defense wins championships. That's how you get stuff done.
Yeah.
And what were some of the main kind of takeaways from last season? Coming into the offseason, you're all right, we really want to step up our game here. Maybe you did something really well and you still wanted to build on it.
Yes, great point. I think, number one, we looked at our offense and looked at what we did last year. How can we make some adjustments to that, to add to that? We need to score. And I think some of the things you're going to see this year are going to be pretty eye-opening. I like what we did. I would say our football IQ went up as a coach staff, as a team. We're trying to, the days of, we got to run the ball down their throat. I think we got to take what we have, see what the teams are doing, and make the correct adjustments. And I think the biggest thing for us is that resilience. That's what makes us so domineering every time is, it's when you get knocked down and you get back up, and what are you going to do? And I think if these guys are continually battling defense, offensively. The other thing is a lot of folks also in special teams, which is the third part of the football game. And I think we are definitely making those adjustments, making those moves. And you're going to see a lot of our starters are going to be playing special teams, something we haven't really done in the past. So, but I think our best players will play. We had a lot more speed, definitely on the defensive ends. We have Eston Monaco coming in, bringing some speed. We had Jake Pick at linebacker, Jack Weesey at the other linebacker. We have some great speed. A lot of track guys that came out for football have not been out, so you're going to see a lot of speed. Luke Unema, a big standout at Dakota Valley basketball. He is going to be one of our bigs at the receiver spot, and then Tyler Klochek. He's a guy, you're going to see about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 new guys out there that are making impact on our team on both sides of the ball. So.
Well, Pat, I don't know about you, but it sounds like the big dogs are indeed eating here at Dakota Valley. What do you think?
They're an exciting program, always have been. Coach Reinhardt really brings, obviously, the enthusiasm, and these football players are awfully good.
Last question for you guys. If there's just one, what do you think the X factor is going to be for Dakota Valley to continue having that success this season?
I think truly for us, the key is staying healthy, and we're doing definitely a regimen of off-season conditioning. We've sort of mirrored some of the things they're doing at K-State. We actually went down and met with those guys. How do we keep, we don't have a lot of players, and how do we keep that resilience? How do we keep these guys refreshed? And even on game day, following post-game day, our probably success is how fast we get these guys recovered. We have 42 guys on our team. And versus the 65, 85 guys on a team where some of the teams we play. We don't have a lot, but their resilience and getting these guys recovered. I think that's the key in staying healthy.
I'd say chemistry. You know, I've been playing with these guys my whole life. Purple Panthers, youth football, and I feel like this is like one of the years where like I love every single person on this team. You know, we obviously joke around a lot, but I'd do anything for the guys next to me, and I know they do the same for me.
It's definitely a lot about culture and our coaching staff. They just not only like up front do a lot of work, but behind the scenes watching film, doing everything they need to, and just help out our players a lot.
Like Seth said, it's the culture thing. It's the 2 times to be great, the one team, one family, just making sure that the guy next to me has my back and I know that he can do his job and I'll do my job and we'll come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true. The big key is all the thing they're talking about. Guys like Bennett Luck and the guys like Jack Weesey, all these names that we're going to see, Ethan Seaton in the backfield. They're all on the same page. We're all going the same direction, and I think they summed it up best with all that. So I mean, I 100% couldn't say more what you guys just said.
That's awesome, Coach. Sounds like it should be a real exciting season. We're looking forward to cover you. Best of luck this year at the Dakota Valley Panthers.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having us,
Coach.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Week 1 matchup here, a potential Sports Zone game of the week here. The Panthers taking on Del Rapids, a real good South Dakota matchup. Pat, should be a fireworks-filled Week 1 game.
Looking at the schedule, that one stood out. Del Rapids against Dakota Valley right away. So looking forward to that football game.
And here we go, back to the Iowa side here, another team in the Sioux City area. Always a pleasure having Coach Moore and company, the North Stars, here in the studio. Thanks, guys, for stopping by.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
Of course, with Coach, let's kind of start off right with the preseason work. I know it's still, relatively early-ish for you guys, but, I mean, just from your perspective, what have you seen that you've liked the most?
Just kind of our kids' attitude. They've been willing to learn. They've had a go-get-it attitude. They've been very supportive of each other. We're going to be very young this year, so it's having these kids that have been in the program for 4 years and that just kind of know how we do things. As a coaching staff, we try to make it a very player-led, driven team, and so they've done a good job of helping bring up those younger guys.
And Austin and Jose, I mean, just for you guys, I mean, kind of what have the experiences been for you so far, and what do you think, is there an early strength of this team?
I think, always our defense. We always show up, fly around, get the ball back for our offense, and then allow them to put points on the board.
Yeah, going back to defense, I think our defense is going to be a real tone setter for our team this year. But also our offensive line, defensive line, I think they need to be a real tone setter for this year too.
Coach, I know your football team works hard in the weight room. I know you work them very hard in the weight room. I've seen that happen. What do you think about your team's development strength-wise this season?
Oh, it's been big. You said we're really young, so that's one thing, getting those kids in there. And, we're going to play a lot of sophomores early, so it's getting those kids physically ready to play 5A football. And that's the biggest challenge is, we could have a ton of really fast kids, but, that grind of that 5A schedule with Valley and Centennial and those kids, those are big 18-year-old men coming after our guys, so we got to make sure they're healthy. And with that strength and conditioning, we really focus on injury prevention to make sure we can stay healthy throughout the whole football season.
Austin, you're one of the team leaders. How's it been early in the camp with all these young players?
They're pretty hard-headed, so you got to kind of get on them. But, they listen. They know what they got to do, and, they're doing it.
And you've been in their shoes before, obviously having that veteran leadership, but for you to kind of be able to be that voice now, is that almost like a full circle moment to be able to continue that?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago I wasn't even touching the field, and now I'm trying to tell them what to do and get them ready for when I'm gone so they can step up and do their job.
And do you think that's kind of giving you an additional perspective on the game?
Yep, for sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really cool, like kind of seeing the young kids kind of look up to us, and also relying on our what's the word, leadership. It's really important that we show them the path to the team.
Wilson, I wasn't sure, Pat. I think these are New Jersey. Are they New Jersey?
Yeah, they're New Jersey.
Okay.
Look sharp,
Very
Coach.
cool.
Thank
Looking
you.
good for week 1. Coach, just kind of, again, back to you, the way you guys ended last season, what were some of the takeaways, and what did you guys do to kind of try and rectify that, in the offseason here?
I mean, if you look at the whole tail end of the offseason, we actually started hitting a pretty good stride towards the end of the season with a couple wins there. We had that tough loss at AL going right before we get to Dowling and stuff. But, we had a new offense last year, and that kind of, you saw it take mold as the season went on, to rectify it going into this next year. It was fine-tuning everything. I feel like we hit a pretty good, defensively offense, so we kind of had what we wanted, had players in the right spots. Now it's taking that to the next level, simplifying it, and making sure our kids can play fast.
Jose, playing these big schools, mentioned Coach, with Valley perennial state title contender, Ankeny Centennial, your thoughts on the size and speed, and how do you adjust to that?
I kind of just try to keep it out of my head. It's just another team that we're going against. But when the younger guys kind of look up to me, I try to make it unbothered to me, and just try my best to go out against every single team I play. And
that is a really good point you just brought up there. Just the importance. I mean, what do you think it is of just kind of taking it one game, one play at a time, not looking ahead at really or beyond anybody?
Just trying to play my best every single game, no matter what team we play.
Austin, what do you think?
I mean, in my mind, everyone's human. Everyone's got their flaws. So, I mean, we can go out. If we work hard, play hard, we can beat anybody.
And, Coach, we talked actually this time last year about how you guys really pride yourselves on that defense. I know you graduated a handful of those tacklers. Just what about some of the guys that have stepped up early in camp, and what do you think they're going to be able to do here in the season?
I don't really feel like we'll miss much of a beat. A lot of those, some of our seniors that'll be playing, like Jack Mogensen and them, they say that culture figured out. They have the defense. Now we've had Coach Cole Wilson for 3 years plus now, helping run our defense. So familiarity is very good for us. We do a good job of streamlining it all the way down to our freshman team. So those kids have to come up and play a little earlier. They're ready. We have a lot of athleticism on the defense side of the ball. So like I said, it's keeping it simple and allowing them just to play football.
Open question to all three of you. We'll start with Coach. Opener against city rival Thursday night against East High.
Yeah, excited. I mean, we've had some people say, oh, you got to play them right off the bat and all this stuff. And I'm happy we get to play them right away. It's one of those things where, they've gotten us for, who knows how long now. It's hard to keep track. But, we have a very dynamic team that can be explosive on both sides of the ball. So we'll be ready come that first game.
Austin?
I think it's a great opener for us. I mean, it's going to really set the tone for the rest of the season, and I think we can go get them.
I'm really excited. I love rivalry games. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, we're excited too. It's going to be our first game on Midwest Sports Plus this season, so we're very excited.
A little bit of a news break, if you will. First game. There we go. So you heard it here first. Awesome. And guys, just last question, just for all three of you. If you had to pinpoint really one kind of X factor for the Stars to have some success this year and build on what you're creating, what would you say?
I mean, probably two X factors here. One, we got to be healthy. We have some really dynamic players on our team, but depth always becomes an issue as you get late in the season. So if we stay healthy, and then we just continue to develop and grow, I think we can be a really good football team, as the season develops.
I think our fronts, O-line, D-line, they got to do their job, and if they do their job, we'll be just fine.
I think chemistry. We have to be able to, blame each other, take faults, all without beating on each other too much, but still be able to recognize our faults.
So, Pat, what do you think?
Best of luck to you guys this season. It's going to be an exciting year. Coach, a young, exciting football team, and optimism galore right now.
All right. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome. The Stars, just like Pat mentioned, taking on Sioux City East here in Week 1. Pat, should be a pretty exciting game, and as you mentioned, will be on Midwest Sports Plus, right?
It certainly will be on a Thursday night special. That's a great way to start things.
You talk about Thursday night football, always a pleasure covering some Thursday night football games. But, kind of just briefly, we just talked with Dakota Valley, we talked to the East. Obviously, the first batch of teams coming here in Media Day. What do you think so far?
Well, what I saw when we looked at the schedule is the exciting opening games each team scheduled, and it's not like the colleges where you might get whoever that you'll beat by 30. We're going to have some great games that first week.
And I like the last couple coaches mentioned how week one is kind of like a measuring stick opportunity. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Well, I certainly do. You can learn a lot from that first game. What do you got to do? They always say, big improvement between week one and week two, and you see a lot of that.
And we talk about exciting teams, and there's not many that may be more exciting than the team right here to my left, the Cherokee Braves coach. Guys, thanks so much, guys, for stopping by. And the new uniforms coming too, right, this year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Coach, obviously, thanks again for making the trip. I know very early for you guys, kind of here in the preseason work, but I mean, how you guys just attack the off season?
Yeah, we kind of revamped the weight room program this off season. Myself and another coach kind of took hold of that, so we revamped that, and then also we're learning a new offense and learning a new defense. So a lot of new stuff for these guys, but I think we're in a pretty exciting place right now.
Coach, we had your game against Spirit Lake last year. Broadcast a lot of football games, a lot of basketball games. That was one of the most exciting games that I've ever broadcast. What did you learn from that exciting game that you just came a little short?
I was actually not part of that team last year. I was at a different school at Storm Lake, so getting to watch that game, we didn't have a playoff game, so getting to watch that game was pretty exciting. And for these guys, for Cherokee to turn that corner and to be a really competitive team and do it with a juggernaut team in Spirit Lake, but to be competitive that late in a game and be that close, I think it just makes these boys that much more hungry.
And actually leads right into my next question. Chris, obviously first-year head coach for here at Cherokee, and just here in this tenure at least, just what have you kind of identified coming to the offseason, and maybe is there an early strength?
I'd say our experience. The two guys standing next to me, they've both been playing since they were freshmen, playing both ways. So to have this leadership, to have that experience on our team is just it's a hard thing to match,
Absolutely. We talk about some familiar faces. We got Blake Lovell, he was a Sports Zone Player of the Week winner last year, and of course Jackson Paulswood, committed to Air Force. By the way, congrats.
Thank you.
Just for you guys, kind of player perspective, how has the preseason gone? I'll say that.
It's gone really well. The way we ended the season last year wasn't ideal, but I think that's given our guys something to work towards next year. So we've definitely been working hard.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of underclassmen who have really shot up. I mean, people are putting weight up in the weight room that's gone up crazy from last year. Underclassmen are stepping up, learning from us older guys who have been doing it for a long time. And those underclassmen who have had experience from last year, and it's just coming all full circle this year. A lot of seniors, a lot of juniors who have played a lot of minutes and a lot of experience. And yeah, we're going to have to stay healthy, but it's going to be a good one.
Jackson, the last time I saw you, you were running and throwing all over the football field. What did you do this summer to improve going into this season?
Yeah, definitely working out. Yeah, that's been the big one, trying to improve that speed, get faster, because, yeah, we got a dual threat here that's pretty hard to stop, and the faster you get, the stronger you get. It makes it a lot harder to defend. And, yeah, we've been doing open fields and throwing with all of our teammates and stuff and running routes since this spring as soon as we could get outside. So we've been catching and throwing for quite a few months, and we've got a lot of reps under our belt.
That's exciting. Obviously, I'm sure you guys understand the magnitude of the season. You had the most wins for the program in a single season since 2015. What have you guys looked to do to not only sustain that success, which is not easy to do at this level, but just to continue building?
Yeah, I'd say, well, it's kind of been funny. Our freshman year, the team, when we came in, wasn't very good. Our freshman year, we had 4 wins, had 5 wins our sophomore year and 6 wins last year. And we've just been building the program back up. My class has been really good. But it's been my grade has been a big factor. Me and Blake, all of our teammates, our senior class has been big. Our 8th grade, we won a bunch of games, and we kind of built the program back up. So I'd say with our experience and then showing that to underclassmen to keep the program rolling in the next years coming.
It's well said, Blake. Do you think, just as Jackson mentioned, your class kind of playing a big role into that adds some value for you? Of course, this is your team. You have all the love, all the care for it, but just to know that you guys have left a footprint on the Braves program.
Yeah, we grew up in in a town where football is very big, and you know, everyone comes out and watches on Friday night. So to leave an impact and leave the team better than you found it is really important, and it's just been a lot of fun.
I know, Coach, that like you mentioned, you're Storm Lake previously, but for you guys, you were on the team last year. You know how last year ended. You know, has that been a motivator for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. That Spirit Lake game hurt, especially the seeding in our district kind of ended up bad, so we ended up playing the 1 seed because we got the 4 in our district, and everyone didn't think we could play with Spirit Lake, and they came out and kind of punched us in the mouth, and we crawled back in the game and had a chance to win, and it hurt a lot for a while, and it definitely has added a lot of motivation in the weight room this offseason to not have a game end like that this year.
I will add a note about that game. It was our most on-demand replay of any game we did last year, Spirit Lake Cherokee.
That was really good.
Blake, going into this season, you guys are dynamic, but you play a lot of two-way players. What are your thoughts on that? Do you ever, I've seen you play enough, you don't seem you ever need a breather, but at times, do you get worn down at all?
Yeah, obviously, especially in early games in the season, you know, you're not as conditioned as maybe later in the season, so you definitely get tired, but it's just the fact that people are relying on you. The guy next to you needs you to succeed, so you just have to push through it. But there are times we get breaks, so just staying healthy is a big part of it.
And Coach, for you, you know, is there an area in particular you think this group has grown the most, just beginning of the preseason to today?
Yeah, well, with learning a new offense, new defense, I just think we did a lot of stuff this summer just to become more polished. We're making progress in the weight room, and then we've really had an emphasis on conditioning, just what you talked about with two-way players. We've got a lot of those guys that play both ways, and we've really put an emphasis on conditioning. We want to play fast, and we want to put our best guys on the field, and that means playing two-way players a lot of times.
I know, Jackson, you mentioned, of course, you know, how difficult this district is. Of course, that class, just looking at the schedule, I mean, a gauntlet of games. I mean, do you feel those really kind of provide you with almost, I don't want to say measuring stick opportunities, but a chance to kind of see where you guys really are and what you're really about?
Yeah, I think so. That first opener against Kemper, I mean, they're going to be a team that's in that top 3 to 5 to start the season, and what better test for us to find out where we are? You know, why not us? Why shouldn't we go play that game and expect the best?
Blake, what do you think?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a really good game, a really fun game week 1. Yeah, I think it'll just be really good. And
then for the rest of the season, it will set the tone. I mean, if we go out there and get that game week 1, and then, yeah, when we start district play, it's those games every week, and we're looking to win them all.
And they're certainly not easy games, I'll tell you that. Just last question for you guys. If you kind of have to pinpoint one big thing for the Braves to, like I said, just not only continue building, but, you know, take that next step potentially, what would you say?
Continuing building is just we're trying to create a culture where we're playing for the guy next to us. We have a saying on our team that's 8 steps for the brotherhood. It doesn't matter if you're getting the ball, you're not getting the ball, you're blocking. We want to make sure we're taking 8 steps for that guy beside us, and just playing together, and then yeah, just focusing on how hard and how fast we can play.
I think a big key for us will be staying healthy this year. We have a lot, like you said, a lot of two-way guys, so keeping our best athletes out in the field is going to be a big part.
I would say leadership. I mean, obviously there are a lot of seniors, but then how can we lead for the guys behind us who will be continuing the program? We've been doing a leadership council where we've learned a lot about how we can lead the people beside us and not just be about you, but about the team and taking ownership. So I just say how we can stay together as a team will be a lot about our success.
Well said, guys. Pat, I mean, Cherokee Braves looking to take another step here. Obviously, we talked about their most wins in a season in the last few years, and obviously a lot of great talent here on the desk, and a team and collective. Looking forward to covering those guys this season.
If this team stays healthy, they are a threat to win it all.
All right, Coach Alish and company, thanks so much, guys, for stopping by. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Of course, and we talk about that Week 1 matchup for Cherokee. It's Kemper Catholic Week 1 here. A big matchup there. We talk about a measuring stick opportunity. Great point brought up there by Cherokee there. It may not be a bigger one there for the Braves than, of course, Kemper Catholic out in that Carroll area. Pat?
Oh, yeah, that's such competition in this region. In Northwest Iowa, we talk about it all the time. It's competitive.
And we're looking forward here now to our next team, the Rebels of Westwood. And before we start, I think we have an early contender for Helmet of the Year here. I love the red, white, and blue, feeling a bit patriotic. Of course, Coach Burkhardt and company, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. We updated our helmet this year. The Iowa National Guard has been deployed overseas this year, and we have 8 Westwood former students that are in Syria for the next year, including one of our assistant coaches, Brady Butters. And so we're going to play for those guys this season. We updated our helmets to red, white, and blue. A lot of our stuff is red, white, and blue. Our team T-shirts, Army green and red, white, and blue. And we're real proud of everything they're doing and proud of all of our soldiers. But our Westwood alumni and our coach, we're going to miss him this season. And we're going to play for them, and we're really excited to represent them.
That's awesome. And of course, we thank them for their service, all those hardworking men and women that, obviously put everything on the line for this great country. Coach, let's start with you. Obviously, the season that you guys had last year, just for you, coach perspective, what were some of the main takeaways, and what were you looking to do to kind of, improve and build coming into 2025?
Last year we went into a couple games with opportunities to sneak into the playoffs there, the Logan Magnolia game, the Council Bluffs St. Albert game, and we led both those games late, and we weren't able to finish those, and either one of those games would have got us in the playoffs. And both of those wins would have got us higher seeds. Both were one-score games, and so. Big thing this year is looking to finish football games because we think we're going to be in them. We've got a quality team, and if we can finish what we start, then I think we're going to have a great season.
Cass, you had a big, powerful football team last year. A lot of big players.
Yep.
Any change from going into this season?
Yeah, at the Class A level, you're really not recruiting anybody new, and you kind of build from within. And so we're not as big up front, but we are more athletic up front. And those guys up front really get after it, and they really hustle around. I think they're going to be surprising people how quick they move and they get on those defenders.
And let's talk to a couple of our players here. Jared, obviously, the season you guys had last year, what were some of the things you're looking to improve on the most?
Keeping the D-line aggressive and letting the linebackers do what they're supposed to. Because if they can't do what they're supposed to, it kind of shuts down the defense. So if they're doing what they can do, we can do what we're supposed to do.
And Aiden, Coach mentioned a lot of those, close games, one-possession games. I mean, what were some of the learning lessons that you guys took away from last year?
I think just like Coach said, we got to stay in the game. We got to finish hard. Can't just say, oh, we're ahead, we're going to win this, and then let it all go in the last quarter. I think we just got to keep our heads in the game and finish strong.
Of course, Coach Burkhardt, this time last year we talked about how key the O-line and the D-line was for the Rebels, and of course how prideful you are of the trenches. What really is the emphasis this year?
Does it ever change? I mean, blocking and tackling is how you win football games, fundamentals. Some teams are going to have superior athletes and those kinds of things, and they have that one star going somewhere. I saw you interviewing Cherokee and the athletes they have. But really, at the Class A level, if you can block and tackle, you're going to be successful. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. And it's 9 guys blocking, you got a quarterback and a guy carrying the football, and that's how we attack every play. And then defensively, it's just really getting after it, and I'm really excited with what we're doing defensively this year and the guys up front and how they're getting after it. I know Jarrett mentioned the D-line play. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do this year.
Of course, a question kind of for all three of you guys, too. Just, of course, complementary football, important, but just offense in particular. I mean, what are you guys kind of building on, and what are you hoping to accomplish here this season?
Obviously, we want to get the ball on the perimeter. We're not as big up front, and so we're not trying to road grade everybody and blow everybody off the ball. So if we can get out on the perimeter, whether it's quick screens or sweeps, just quick little passes out on the perimeter, that's one thing offensively we're going to do. But we're still going to run the football a lot, and we're going to try to be physical and aggressive and hopefully violent.
Jared.
Yeah, we're hoping to keep it on the outside. If we can get the blockers on the outside, leading the runners and blocking, and we just keep going and we get what we're supposed to do and just use our speed to our advantage and get to the outside.
I think, like Coach said, running the ball to the outside because we're not as big up front, but I still think that our linemen, they're not incapable. I think they're great at their jobs, and I think as long as they open up their holes, we can still, run the ball straight up the middle and get the yards we need, the necessary yards.
Jarrett, your thoughts on the early summer camp? You play here in a couple of weeks. How's the team preparing? Do you feel like you're going to be ready for that first game?
I believe we will be. It's been slow off the start, but we're slowly getting better and better as we're learning plays and all that. It's a work in progress, and I believe we'll get there before the time is needed.
That's well said, and of course there are some guys that graduated that were some big contributors last year. I mean, just talk about some of the guys that are back on the roster this year that are looking to kind of fill those gaps and how they've attacked that.
Yeah, we graduated a big senior class for us, and we lost a lot of starters. And so he talked about camp being a little slow. It's not slow. It's just that a lot of new guys playing positions and switching positions. And so, trying to catch up in that area. But, you obviously got Jarrett and Aiden. We expect big things out of Hayden Versch up front. Brody Steinhoff, Jake Steinhoff, Trevin Ohm, Jose Angulo, Colton Davis. A lot of guys that have stepped up early on. Done a nice job. Brady Babel in the backfield. Colin Vandenbosch is a sophomore that I think is going to really surprise people. I think we're going to come out and be a little more athletic than people are expecting us to be because we graduated the track team last year. Those guys could really run. And then, we had Tiny at, 6'7", 310 pounds. We're not going to have that this year, but our guys up front, they're we got a lot of guys in the 210, 215 range, and they can move, and that's critical for us. And so I really feel like we got the pieces in place to have a great season.
Aiden, have you embraced the leadership with all these young players and new starters?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full circle moment getting to see it all, being from the person who was listening to the seniors and looking up to them and following their leadership to now being the person who gets to lead them and show them how to act, what to do, and trying to help keep them motivated and playing hard and trying to be a leader and keep them going and motivate them.
And that's well said right there. I actually like that. Last question just for you three. If you kind of had to pinpoint just one, like, hey, this is the X factor for the Rebels to have some success this year, what would you say?
Finish. We got to finish.
Being aggressive and doing your job.
Yeah, I think it's like a machine. Everybody does their job, then we can be successful.
Sounds good. Pat, should be an exciting year for the Rebels.
You bet. Old-style football when you talk about the Rebels, and they're fun to watch.
Of course, Coach Cass and company, thanks again for stopping by. Always a pleasure having you guys in the studio.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Of course. And we talk about the Westwood Rebels Week 1 matchup. We've got Alta Aurelia on the docket for the Rebels here. One of a handful of games that are very intriguing. Of course, we'll be playing Woodbury Central and Akron Westfield here in the month of September, but of course, don't want to overlook that Week 1 game. Alta Aurelia taking on the Rebels in Week 1. On the road, actually a quick stat there. So the Rebels won 3 road games last season, and they actually did not win a home game last year. Of course, had a handful of very close games, but should be exciting here in 2025 for the Westwood Rebels. And now we're going to head over to our very own Pat Schultz of now, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Midwest Sports Plus. So, of course, we briefly talked about that at the beginning of the show. We mentioned, obviously, kind of the timeline, of course, with Metro Sports TV, what you guys have been able to do. Now, of course, a little bit of a rebrand, if you will. So for those who don't know, just kind of want to fill us in here.
I'm going to have to work on my intros and outros this year and not say Metro Sports TV, but Midwest Sports Plus. Midwest Sports Plus, we are now a division of Forum Communications and very dynamic. It reminds me a lot of the KCAU personnel. Very exciting people to be around. And we really are expanding this season with Forum Communications and Midwest Sports Plus. Now we'll be in the Twin Cities, Fargo, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, Mitchell, here in Northwest Iowa, and Siouxland, Des Moines, and Rochester, Minnesota. So a lot of big changes, a lot of great football. Just looking forward to, as you said, this rebrand is going to be very exciting.
And it's certainly exciting. Obviously, we've had the pleasure of working with you guys the last couple of years with highlights, whether it's Spirit Lake, whether it's Easter. Even you guys were up at Iowa Lakes Community College a couple of times, which was fun as well. I guess what can people here in Siouxland, viewers in Siouxland, what can they expect if they're say, hey, let's go check out Midwest Sports Plus? What can they see?
Yes, get on the app. There will be many features, not only live games, but on-demand games. Also, we will cover USD and South Dakota State, North Dakota, and North Dakota State football, all on our app. So there's going to be many features, not just games, and it's going to be very exciting.
Sounds good, and obviously still relatively early kind of now in this process for you, but what are some of the things that you've enjoyed the most kind of with the expansion? I know, of course, we talked about last year, working up with games in Sioux Falls. You had some stuff out in Des Moines. Now you covered East basketball against Valley out there. But just now kind of having a bigger footprint, if you will, what are some things that you've learned and that you've enjoyed?
Well, there's been a big difference in the travel budget, I'll tell you that much. But no, just seeing all these teams now now and doing a lot of the things that we started right here with KCAU, a partnership that we appreciate a lot and will continue with Form Communications. But just being able to expand this to some terrific, we talk about the enthusiasm of Northwest Iowa high school athletics, but there's more places that want to be covered, and we're going to be able to do that.
And we actually talked about it last year. You hit a milestone with broadcasts. I mean, Pat, you guys started out with just 1 or 2 cameras, a couple people, and now look where you're at. I mean, did you ever really kind of have a chance to reflect and see how far your entities come?
Well, as we talked about, it was more happenstance than anything. We started with 3, all of a sudden we had 30, then 60 personnel, and now with Form Communications, we actually have 800 employees at Form. So a lot of resources, a lot of excitement going on. We've been traveling a lot this summer, looking at new venues, a lot of enthusiasm. As we said, high school sports is underrated in regarding to enthusiasm and coverage.
And you've been to a lot of different places. You've covered a lot of different things, but you just mentioned, of course, Northwest Iowa and just the Siouxland region in general, just the passion that you've seen for the high school sports here. I mean, where does that kind of stack up?
Well, growing up and playing in Northwest Iowa, coaching in Northwest Iowa, and now stumbling into broadcasting sports in Northwest Iowa, it is just a great place to be. And the way people have followed and encouraged us on with this has been very important.
And what are some ways, obviously you talked about an app, website, social media, et cetera, what are some ways that viewers may be able to access content?
Yep, go to Midwest Sports Plus, our website, we're right there. It gives you all that information, and we'll actually have our schedule up that first week. Going to be very exciting.
Looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, again, I talked about kind of early in the process. What kind of are you guys looking to accomplish now? I know there's still football season, of course. What are you guys looking to do here for the football season?
Oh, well, we're going to cover all those regions, as we said, and emphasis is going to be on the playoffs. We're going to cover a lot of playoff games. They are not covered really, and there's so many viewers and the numbers with football playoffs. We all know about football playoffs, and everybody loves football, and we're really excited about this.
It should be a lot of fun. I mean, I think we kind of just hit the nail on the head there. Pat, you are a very busy man, so we're going to let you slip out of here. But, of course, always a pleasure having you here in the KC9 studio for Media Day. We're looking forward to working with now Midwest Sports Plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to go change suits, got to go put a tux on, got a wedding to go to. Thanks for having me. It's been exciting. It's going to be a great football season at KCAU and Midwest Sports Plus.
Always a pleasure, Pat. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, well, that takes us now back to our high school football coverage here into the Sioux City metro area with none other than the Warriors of Sergeant Bluff Lewin. Always a pleasure having Coach Smith and company here at the KC9 studio. Thanks, guys, for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, Coach, I know this time last year we talked about, wanting to grow and continue and getting back to where you were. Just, I mean, the season that you guys had, just what were your thoughts? What did that mean to you to make it back to state?
It was a lot of fun. Great group of young men, obviously tremendous athletes, but really good people too. Great coaching staff, great community support. We stressed a lot of standards over feelings, and that's kind of what we had lost there for a while. But we really got back to, and we talk about that every day. And these guys do a great job of setting that standard and holding others to it.
Well said, Coach. And Isaiah, obviously at that quarterback position last year. The way that you guys went to state, you had the year that you had. What are you guys looking to do just as a unit to continue growing and not just say, hey, we're done after one?
Yeah, definitely keep it two-dimensional. We ran a lot last year, but with our line, we got some new faces, and we're looking to pass a lot more this year too and kind of spread the wealth around too, so yeah.
And Joe, after the experience you guys bring back and the way you guys bounce back is the most wins for you guys in a single season since 2015. Just the magnitude of that season. What does it mean for you guys just to come back and try and do it again and continue building just for the future as well as now?
Yeah, obviously we're going to try to do it again. We're going to try to recreate what we did last year, and that's the plan.
Sounds good. And obviously, of course, you don't want to overlook anybody. Week one, right? What are kind of some of the big points of emphasis that you have, Coach, just on this group for this year?
Right now, just get better every day. Find a way to get better every day. If you do that, and you focus on what's right in front of you, you'll have success down the road. If you're worried too much about what's down the road, like right now, we can't focus on week one. Right now, we know it's even. We know we got a really good talented squad there. But if we don't focus on us right now, it's not going to be good for us. So we just got to continue to do what we do and work on improvement.
And you talk about that improvement, and that's well said. Of course, you don't want to be complacent, right? The year you guys had, how great it was, but you still feel there's ways to grow.
Well, the great thing about high school football, every year it's a new team. Seniors leave. New guys come in, the player dynamics are different, leadership dynamics are different. So it's not really starting at ground zero every year, but it is a completely different team. So it's focused on us and focused on getting better. These guys taking over as, seniors in a leadership role. They're doing a great job with it so far. I'm excited about it.
And for both of you guys now, does it almost kind of feel full circle? You were probably a freshman or a sophomore at one point listening to some seniors. Now you kind of are at the head of the table. I mean, what are you looking to pass down to the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, but the big thing for me is I want to be a leader this year and show the younger kids the roots and stuff. And, most good programs are built on good leadership, and that's what we're trying to do every day.
It goes by fast. You got to enjoy it while you have high school football. So just going to enjoy it, help the team get better, and lead it.
And Coach Smith, this program really prides itself on doing the little things right. Just how much of a benefit or how much of a difference do you think just going that extra 1% really does when it's time to put the ball on the ground?
When you're playing another good team, it's everything, because they're well coached too and they have good athletes, and it's all those little details that are going to make the difference between success and failure.
Isaiah?
What was the question? Sorry.
So just doing the little things right, just trying to get 1% better, how much of a difference does that really make for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, as a group, a football team has to have 11 guys working at a time, and we try to do that every day. We step on the field, the weight room, everything, so yeah.
Yeah, technique matters. The little things are what win you the games. We got to lock in these next few weeks and get the little things right.
In the Sergeant Bluff community, of course, SBL in general, very supportive of just athletics as well. Just kind of, what did you feel about the way they really embraced this team and the season that you guys had?
It was a lot of fun. We tried to do a little bit to get involved in the community too. Last year we had a couple situations that were greater than football. We have a young man in our own school, dealing with some health issues. That was these guys' class here. We had a young man in the community that had a scare, and we spent a little bit of time with that as a team, and looking outside of the football program and into the community. And I think those things matter, and those things are important for young men to develop and to see that, be experienced, and to be exposed to that. And then obviously, you do things like that. The community shows that you show them you care, and they care, and they support you in return.
And that's very well said, Coach. And just collectively for you guys, was there an area where you really said, hey, this is where we want to get better, coming to the offseason?
Everywhere. We knew we needed to throw the ball a little bit better. We threw the ball, like I said, when we wanted to last year. This year we might need to throw the ball a little more often. If we can improve in that phase, and we already have, we've shown great strides in that area. I'm really excited about that going forward. But I'd say that'd be first.
Isaiah?
Yeah, definitely throwing the ball, spraying the wealth out. I spent a lot of time over the off season working on my passing game, and it wasn't an easy transition, but with the staff around me, it made it easier. So yeah.
Yeah, having to catch the ball as a receiver. We didn't have to do that much last year. Mostly it was just handoffs, but yeah, now having to catch the ball a little more.
And of course, now we know who you guys play week one, but Coach, I like the point you brought up. You don't even want to worry about week one right now. You want to worry about what's right in front of you. I mean, what kind of is left for you guys to take care of business, if you will, just between now and that game?
Well, like you said, details. It's details. We won't have pads on until Wednesday. So, like I said, it's a new team. You really don't know what you have physicality-wise until we start putting the pads on, and just working on being, be the hammer, not the nail. That's the focus going forward, and then working on those details.
Definitely. And last question, I kind of have been asking the last few teams just their perspective, but if you had to say, what's the one X factor for Sergeant Bluff-Luton to continue having success and build on what you have, what would you say?
That's a great question. I'd say leadership. I'd say leadership, being a come-with-me leader, not a leader that says, hey, go do this, but having players that show how to do things, set the example, and then bring others along with them.
Yeah, I'd say mental, emotional, and physical toughness. We really pride ourselves in that, and if we have that every day and come to practice with the hard work mindset, we'll be good.
And finish. We're going to finish every play. We're going to finish every game. Finish every practice hard.
Awesome. Well, Sergeant Bluff-Luton, guys, awesome. Always a pleasure covering you guys. Best of luck, and thanks again for stopping by our High School Football Media Day.
Yeah, thanks for coverage. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thank you.
Of course, in the Warriors Week 1 matchup here against Bishop, Heelan, and Metro on Metro matchup. Always a pleasure checking those out on August 29th. Of course, we talk about the Warriors, a great season they had last year, and well said by Coach Smith, just to look to continue building on what they have. Obviously, the Warriors, a really nice program here. And again, it should be a really exciting matchup here against the Crusaders of Bishop. Heelan. We'll have that game on our first Sports Zone show on that day of August 29th. Again, a little bit of an all-Metro matchup here. I know we've had a little early mix here of South Dakota schools. We've had some schools here in Iowa, large schools, small schools in general. And we talk about small schools. How about the Woodbury Central Wildcats? Coach Bremer and company, thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, you betcha.
Absolutely, Coach. Let's talk about the season you guys had and now kind of the off season. What were some of the main takeaways for you guys, and how did you look to build on that?
Yeah, our main takeaways is like each and every year sort of try to improve in all aspects of the game, and that starts in the weight room. And boys, they did a great job of that this off season, and looking forward to what we can do on the field.
Well said. And Brody, just for you guys, kind of the way you ended last year, what were some of the learning lessons for the Wildcats?
We learned that just got to get better as a team. We didn't get to last year to where we wanted to be, and so we just got to get tougher, stronger in every way of the game.
And you talk about not wanting to be where you are. That is a good point you brought up. What do you think it's going to take for you guys to get to where you want to be?
We just got to grow as a team. Obviously, lost a lot of seniors last year, so we got to find a new way to work together as a team and just get better.
And Carson, he just brought up the seniors, of course. Just talk about, whether it was Zach Butler or any of those guys, really just the impact that they had and what you're looking to kind of carry that torch now.
Seniors last year, they were very good, but this year I feel like we have a really good flow senior group, and some underclassmen are going to step up too.
And Coach, do you think there's an area where you'd say, hey, this is the main thing we need to work on, we need to do a little bit better? How do you rectify that?
Well, I think throughout, during the offseason, the staff gets together, and I think every aspect of the game you can always improve on: offense, defense, special teams. But overall, like our main job, we just got done with camp, and just getting the team together, getting them playing together, trying to understand what their expectations are and everything else. They did a great job of it this past week, and hope we can grow as the weeks go on.
Well said, Coach. And obviously you mentioned those seniors, obviously, but there was a lot of youth that played for you last year. I mean, just what was the benefit of having those guys getting those reps?
Yeah, anytime you get some younger guys some playing time, it's got to always help as the years go on with, for them and everything else. And I think they did a great job of picking up like this past week, we put most of the offense in. I think they did a great job of picking that up quick. So
in the last couple of years, especially, the offense has been a real big staple of this Woodbury Central program. But just talk about being able to play that complementary football, especially on that defensive side.
Yeah, that's what I expect we need to grow on a little bit more than last year. We need to get to the quarterback a little bit better this year. Put a little, give our guys in the D-back a little bit more time and not so much pressure, to try to cover for 3 to 4 seconds or whatever the case is. So our main aspect is attack the ball and get downhill.
And of course, you guys, ended up having another successful season with an 8-3 record, but you mentioned you're not really satisfied.
Yeah,
right?
The team's doing a great job of kind of what our goals are this year. And it's the main thing is just to win each and every week, and in doing so, we'll take care of where you want to get to at the end of the year. So our main focus is that game one.
And Brody and Carson, just kind of, from the start of when you guys kind of got into preseason action to right now, do you think there's a specific area where you guys grew the most?
I would say our teamwork. I feel like our chemistry is getting very good. Every day that we work together, it gets better every time.
Like I said, with a lot of seniors leaving, new guys have to step up and in, and so we just got to work better with them, and I can see that grow already.
And of course, the quarterback position, like it's been the last few years, has always kind of been a real big pressing point for this team. I mean, obviously Jackson Brashore was that guy last year. What were kind of some of the steps that he's taken just as a quarterback?
He's done a great job this offseason. He's on to 5 to 8 camps. Got the guys together, throw on his own on the weekends. Did a great job leading their way during the summer workouts. And I can't say enough of what steps he's done.
And of course, we just talk about the ways you want to grow, where you want to be. If you kind of had to just pinpoint one area to say, hey, this is what we need to do to have some success, what would you say?
The main thing is, like I said, our goal at each and every week is to take care of the week. And then doing so, it's going to lead to good things toward the end of the year. So,
you guys?
Yeah, like you said, you got to focus each game, each week, and eventually it'll add up throughout the season, get better.
Yeah, we just need to really focus on the game plan that we have because it's going to work.
And obviously, this program has had aspirations to continue going on, but obviously it starts with week one, right? Just the importance of taking it one game at a time, and really for you, Coach, just how have you kind of kept this program just saying, hey, we need to be locked in just one play at a time, one game at a time?
Like I said, our main thing is our main phrase is to make sure you do your job, And right now their job is to learn the offense, learn their responsibilities on defense, and so far during camp they've done a great job with that.
Yeah, like you said, do your job. Everybody has their own role, so just get it done.
It's really just 1 week at a time, and you don't look forward until you're on that week.
That's well said, guys. Best of luck week 1. Always a pleasure having you guys here at the KCAU studio. Coach Bremer, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys. Here we go. Woodbury Central week 1. Should be an exciting matchup here. We've got a handful of great games. So how about the Highway 20 rivalry? It's the Eagles of Lawton Bronson here. A couple of very close foes that know each other very well. Last season, Woodbury Central got the best of the Eagles in week 1. Let's see if they can do it again here in 2025. And how about some Nebraska action? This is our first Nebraska team. One of my favorite Nebraska teams to cover, the Stanton Mustangs. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Let's talk about, obviously, still relatively early here in the off season for you guys, but just collectively with Coach Stoddard and everybody, what have you guys done to really attack the off season?
I mean, I know us as players, we go on the field in our free time and we lift almost every day.
Yeah, we just lift and then go to the field and just kind of work on it with yourselves and with the team.
Yeah, we've had a lot of really good attendance and everything, weights, and thought we've had a really good summer so far. So everyone's been showing up and going good.
And that's well said. And of course, Stan has been on the map for small school football, especially the last couple of years, the success you guys have had. But obviously, you guys graduated a very large senior class. For you guys to be back and kind of be the leaders now, what does that mean to you, and what are you looking to pass down to some of those younger players?
I mean, I think for us, we just want to keep on winning. We don't want to just not change our culture around here. We just want to do our best we can and pass it down.
Yeah, just kind of keep the winning going on, and hopefully the young class can keep it up.
Yeah, and just keep passing down that winning culture, and then it'll just keep going down and keep winning.
It's well said. Question now for you, Hunter, just specifically, with Coach Stoddard, obviously, great coach. What are some of the things he's really kind of preached to you guys, saying, hey, this is what we need to do to continue sustaining the success this program has?
Well, just learning the offense and defense and everything, just kind of being a leader on the field. Then, yeah.
Sounds good. And Gatlin, obviously, you mentioned, of course, being a leader now and what that means to you guys. What are some of the things that you kind of looked at and said, hey, this team needs to get better at, and how did you guys address that?
Yeah, I think one thing is obviously a lot of inexperience, obviously, but I think we've been addressing it really good. Everyone's been showing up. We've been learning the plays, offense, defense, and yeah, great attendance all around. We've been doing really good.
That's awesome, and especially in a season like this where do you almost feel like you guys are retooling rather than rebuilding?
Yeah, I'd say so. Just because we have people coming in filling those spots from past seniors, and those people have been working for the last 4 years, just ready to get their chance right now, and they're going to take the best advantage of it.
What do you guys think?
I think he nailed it.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of tools to bring back another great season, because a lot of these guys, they've been working hard, even in their free time. So I think it's another really good year coming up.
And I like the point that you brought up about how guys have really bought into this program, how they're showing up when you necessarily don't really have to. How much of a difference do you think that's made for you guys early here in the offseason?
I think early on, because I think we're farther ahead, kind of on knowing and learning what to do and how to do it. So I think the young kids have also been doing a great job of paying attention to that and learning.
Yeah, I think it's great that everyone wants to come in early to learn it instead of just starting at the season, and then so we got a huge head start from that.
Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much summed it up pretty good, but it helps a lot when they want to be there. It makes them learn it way better, so that's been helping a lot.
And do you think there's been really an early strength of this Mustangs group this year? I know every team is different in their own way, but just for the 2025 Stanton Mustangs in particular.
I think it's going to be a lot of the same stuff as in the past, just same strengths and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they summed it up pretty well.
And of course, we talk about your guys' schedule. You guys have some real, difficult games, but just the importance of taking it, only one game at a time, one play at a time. Is that really something that you guys preach?
Yeah, we go. So now we're just going to start getting ready for week 1 against Bloomfield, do our learning, know what they do, know what we need to do to counter them and all that.
Yeah, we pretty much take it 1 week at a time and one play at a time during the game.
Yep. Yeah, that whole week we'll just be going play by play, thinking about just how Bloomfield's going to line up against it. So that whole week is just going to be game planning for that.
And of course, we mentioned obviously a big senior class that graduated for the Stand Mustangs, and what they were able to do on the field. But now for you guys, kind of to be the next group up. I'm sure at one point you guys were all freshmen, kind of looking up to seniors at that point. Now you guys are the seniors, kind of passing that along. I mean, does that almost make it like a full circle moment for you guys?
Yeah, kind of. So it's been like we've been playing football with these guys for so long, and we've learned so much from them, and now we have to teach the younger kids on how to do it and all that.
Yeah, it comes full circle because you're always looking up to the seniors, and then they leave, and then it's the next seniors, and then soon you're the seniors, and everyone looks up to you.
Yeah, it's been going by so fast. It feels like it was just like yesterday we were all freshmen, so it feels weird that now all these people they look up to us. It feels good.
It's hard to believe, right? Just how fast, especially in high school. I remember back in my day when I was in high school. But last question for you guys. If you had to really pinpoint one thing to say, hey, this is what Stanton needs to do to have some success, what would you say?
I'd say it's just like staying on your blocks, just running them back and just doing your job with great technique.
Yeah, do your job and being physical.
Yeah, the number one thing that our coach always preaches is just being physical and blocking for 6 seconds every play. And that's like probably the biggest thing that we preach because we're like a power run offense is just hammer it at them, just physical the whole game.
Well, awesome, guys. Always a pleasure having the Stanton Mustangs in the house, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The Stanton Mustangs, as we mentioned, a big Week 1 game, an exciting Week 1 game, and all local. I mean, we can go on and on about the adjectives here. We're taking on the Bees of Bloomfield. We'll hear from Bloomfield later today in our high school football media day. Always a pleasure having some Nebraska schools in the mix. Of course, we talked with Dakota Valley earlier. We'll have Elk Point and Jefferson and the Tanagers of Vermilion in the house. But of course, a few more Iowa squads as we have 24 teams to go through. Obviously, a handful still left to go, but let me tell you, this has been a lot of fun and a lot of exciting teams to cover. And talk about exciting, of course, I feel like I'm saying it like a broken record. I think this might be the time I'm most excited for here. Siouxland, this is... Actually, I'm going to let you do the honors here. So, Siouxland, let them know. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Alex Huddleston, or Alexander. I'm the new sports reporter and weekend sports anchor here at KCAU. So, yeah, that's... What else do you want to know?
Let's get right into it. All right. Well, first off, it's been a pleasure having you in the house here. So you've been here now for about a week. We've been doing some training. You've had the pleasure of coming to some pretty exciting Sioux City Explorers games.
Yes.
What have been your thoughts so far, just being here in Sioux City and Siouxland?
Being here in Sioux City, I mean, I love it. The people seem super fun and awesome. The community's great. I'm learning a lot about my neighbors, so I'm loving it. I'm loving kind of the atmosphere and the community of Siouxland, and the sports fans. They're definitely here for the teams. It's great. I love it. It's awesome.
And obviously, you didn't just pop up here overnight. Like, you had a journey to get here. Let's talk about that. Where you're from, how you got here, some of your experience.
Yeah, so I'm from Sacramento, California. Kind of moved around a lot, but Then I went to school up to Washington State University. Then the last 2 years I've spent in Boise, Idaho, covering Boise State Broncos. I'm sure you've seen the blue turf before, Ashton Genty, that whole Heisman hype. And so that's been kind of my journey all the way to here now. So, yeah.
And we'll just talk about it a second. What are the odds? So I'm from New York State. You're from California. We both end up in Iowa.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
We're closing the gap here in Iowa.
When they said meet me halfway, I wasn't sure that's what they meant. Well, anyway, you talk about the excitement that you have. Obviously, been a pleasure having you here early. Football season now in Siouxland, just a couple weeks away. We've seen some of the teams so far. What do you think?
I'm excited. I've been talking to the coaches and the players here, kind of trying to see what their culture and what their team is about. So I'm excited. I'm a big football guy, so I'm ready to get the season started, honestly. So I'm getting excited. I'm watching, trying to hear kind of who's who, what's what,
Getting your scoop. And where else would you get it here in the high school football media day, am I right?
For real, this has been fantastic. This is awesome. This is a super cool setup, so yeah.
Definitely, and we had a chance to talk about it the other day, obviously, super excited, and you've, covered some Explorers games, you're ready to cover some, games in the area, regardless of sport, really. But, we talk about, the sports journalism, right? Telling those stories.
Yes.
And, what does that mean to you to kind of now be in a position to, be able to share some of the cool stories and tell some really cool things about people here in our community?
Yeah, I mean, so in Boise, I was a news reporter. So this is my first sports job. But, getting into the broadcast world and the journalism world, telling stories is what kind of I fell in love with. like telling stories of the community. You know, you get to meet people every day. Whether you say hi or not, it's up to you. But you know, around here, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed, and a lot of our staff has noticed, I come in and ask a daily question, because that's what I love about journalism, is you get to learn about people's stories that you see on a daily basis. And you get to tell those stories to the rest of the world. You know, it could be a story that's not as important as others, but it doesn't matter. It's still their story. And so I'm excited to do that, especially with a subject that I love so much, which is sports. I'm pumped. I'm excited. It's what I fell in love with back in high school. So it's good to be doing it at the professional level now. So yeah.
And firsthand experience. I mean, we don't need to get into the question of the day today, but I have really enjoyed the questions of the day. You brought a really good energy, and and super vibrant, super pumped to be here. It's been a pleasure having you, and you're really taking the most of the opportunity, and we're looking forward to having you. Now, Sports Zone football, of course, our first show here, coming up with that large Week 1 slate on the 29th of August. We even have some games, of course, a couple teams left in our media day. They'll be playing Week 1 August 22nd, so a week earlier, kind of that Week 0. So you'll get to learn. A few teams will play those games. We have a couple, Sioux City East, of course, taking on North High on that Thursday, the 28th. And then, of course, getting right after it, the 29th. For people who may not get to know you yet or don't know you yet, what are some things you maybe want people to know about you as a person, not just as the sports reporter?
I laugh at everything. I'm great for self-esteem. So if you're having a rough day, come find me. I'll make you laugh or something. That sounds egotistic. Whatever. No, I enjoy kind of getting out, exploring, meeting new people. Big golden retriever energy out of me. So I love football. California kid, so all my teams are in that area. So I don't know if there's any fans out here, but go Niners. I have to shout them out. Probably. Sorry. Honestly, I would love for you to come get to know me. If you see me at Walmart at a football game, wherever, come say hi. I'd love to sit down and have a chat.
And obviously, you mentioned Washington State. You're rocking that pin, kind of reflecting in my eye, but I'll let it slide.
They were part of the journey that got me here. High school, I really dug down in broadcast, and and it all ended up at Washington State up in Pullman. I had a sports show there. I had a great time there, and so they're kind of part of that journey that got me to this point, and hopefully to wherever else it leads.
That's awesome to hear. And Alex, I mean, at what point in your life did you say, hey, this is what I want to do, and kind of how, I know you had that stop in Boise, you covered the Boise State Broncos, etc. Just where has that kind of led you?
Like where did it start? Like
where did it start? Was there just one day you woke up, you didn't want to be an astronaut anymore? And that's what happened?
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I thought, in high school I was going to be this D1 athlete. Obviously that didn't pan out. But no, I learned that I was a lot better at talking and shooting football than I was at actually playing football. So I guess that was kind of where I really dug in. I got to use my creativity, because I really like to I like to show off what the different, because it's an art. What we do is kind of an art.
Poetic.
So,
that was poetic.
Yeah, poetic. Yeah. So it got my creative side to be able to work on that. So that's probably high school for sure.
That sounds good. And you talk about your excitement. Obviously, Week 1, if you kind of had to say, I've been asking all the teams this, I'm going to ask you this. If you had to pinpoint just kind of one area where you're going to say, this is what I'm looking forward to the most, not even just football, but just kind of getting after it, what would you say?
Getting to kind of kickstart my sports broadcast career. I mean, this is kind of the origin story here, Siouxland. I mean, you guys are going to be a major step in that process. So I'm excited. I'm excited just to get started and tell you guys the stories. So, yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Alex. Super happy to have you here. And we're looking forward to having you here for Week 1 of Sports Zone.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Of course. Awesome. Alex, thanks so much for the time. And we're going to go a bio blast, if you will, Alex, here. We just talked about Alex Huddleston, our new sports reporter, weekend anchor, of course, coming from Sacramento, California, a far cry from my home state of New York, and works in Boise, Idaho, of course, talked about the Boise State Broncos. Now he's here in Siouxland as our new weekend sports anchor and sports reporter. Now, welcome back to your regularly scheduled program here in the house, the Tanagers of Vermillion. Coach, guys, thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So, Coach, let's start with you. First, I'm going to say I like that quarter zip. Year one for you, Coach Baumeyer. Just what are some of the things you were looking to do to really kind of take the reins this offseason and get after it?
Yeah, so I've been an assistant coach for the last 4 years in the program, so it's a good situation to be with the kids. I was talking to the guys coming up, a couple seniors sitting next to me. So my first year coaching-wise, I was the head middle school coach. These guys were 8th graders when they started there, so to kind of have that background rapport already built with those guys, to go from 8th graders, so I'm having at the end of middle school to now the end of high school, I think that's a pretty cool deal. The biggest thing this first year is I want to kind of just set the tone culture-wise. Build rapport. I pride myself the most on relationship building with the kids. That's the biggest thing I pride myself on, is the relationships with the kids. That's what lasts forever. Well, obviously, we want to win football games, and hopefully we can bring some wins to the Dome for the town of Vermilion and for being a Vermilion tanager winning football games. But kind of just setting the culture with that relationship building. And I got a great group of kids. I got a phenomenal staff, so I'm excited for what we got this year.
Well, Sam, we just talked about that great group of kids. Hayden, I feel like it was just yesterday we talked with you in that parking lot. If you remember a few years ago, Vermilion football, I think there was a flood or rain, whatever. You guys practiced in the parking lot. That was the first for me in my career. Obviously, we're a long ways from that now. But for you guys getting ready for 2025, how have you guys really attacked the season?
Well, with the new head coach and a huge freshman group coming up, we just had a lot of energy in practice and just more want and will.
And how important has really that been for you, just to buy in collectively? Like, football obviously is a team sport, just to have everybody row in the same direction.
It's been nice. Just having everyone actually want to be there, working out, getting there in the morning, being there, showing up early, getting extra stuff done off the field.
Well said. And Bryce, for you now, just kind of, what are some of the learning lessons that you guys had as a group from last year, and how are you kind of applying that now?
I think not everyone was bought in last year like we are this year. I think this year everyone's pushing themselves in practice and in the weight room, unlike last year where a little lackluster, and I think everyone really cares this year.
And you bring up a good point there. Now that you kind of, just like Hayden and Coach said too, that guys are really more bought in this year, do you notice a difference, really?
Totally, yeah. Practice is way more energetic and everyone's having fun. It doesn't feel like a job or anything. It feels like I'm going out there to try and get better, to win.
And Coach, it really sounds like that you guys pride yourselves, of course, I mean, I don't want to say cliche saying, but doing like those little things right. But from your perspective, I mean, how has that been applicable to the tanagers?
Yeah, I mean, I tell the guys every day, our goal is the details. We're very, practice-wise, it's high energy, it's high pace, it's very detailed. I have it down to the minute of when we're changing stuff. Details matter for sure, especially in the game of football. And there's no game like it where you got 11 guys having to do the same thing at the same exact time, have to execute. So detail-oriented, and I always tell the guys we want to be as close to perfection as possible. So I always push them even the simplest things. New thing we introduced this year was our V-Town jacks. So we just do jumping jacks while doing it, and I'll make the guys do it over and over again until we get it right, until it's perfect. So that's kind of our goal this year, is to be as close to perfect as possible. And then just the relationships. Team is the number one thing in our program, and I want to establish that. The team is most important. No matter what we're doing, we win, we lose, we do everything as a team. So these guys, great leaders, a senior class, leading the charge. I'm the head coach per se, but we're a player-led program, and it starts with these seniors.
That sounds good. If I'm looking for conditioning, I think I need to go to Vermilion. So V-Town Jacks, maybe got to throw that in my regimen. But for you guys, obviously, do you feel that there's kind of been an early strength so far this season for the tanagers? If so, what do you think it is?
Honestly, just everything's new. It's all a brand new start for everyone. We can finally go out there and just be ourselves and have fun for one last year.
Yeah, I think that everyone's learning every position. Everyone knows exactly what they need to do, and I think that's gonna be good for the season.
And for you guys too, you guys brought up a good point, being those seniors now, being the upperclassmen. At one point, you were freshmen probably on this team, sophomores on this team, kind of looking up to others. Now being in the driver's seat, is that almost kind of feel full circle? And what are you passing down to some of the younger players?
Yeah, being with him for 5 years, I got to play up. I got lucky. I got to play up, so I got to be here for 5 years. So being there that long, you just get a feel for it, and you get to help out the younger kids because you know what you're doing.
What do you think?
I think that I think it's really cool because I get to push the younger kids to do what they need to do instead of me getting pushed by the older kids. And I think I've been able to help them a lot.
And Coach, you brought up a really good point about just building that culture and building that rapport with the team. Just how has that gone so far, and what have you liked just kind of in that area specifically?
Yeah, it's been a great summer. I mean, like the kids alluded to, it all starts with buy-in. Like I always tell the kids too, no matter what you decide to do in your program, if you get 50 guys on a roster bought into doing something, good things are going to happen. And I think we have a good first step forward this summer with the program. The kids bought into the weight room big time. That was a huge focus of mine coming in this summer as well. We got to just get bigger, faster, stronger. And we have a phenomenal strength and conditioning coach, my assistant coach, Caden Elder. He threw for USD, and he does a phenomenal job with the kids, but it all starts with them just buying into it. And that's kind of my big goal this first year, set the baseline, set the foundation of the culture, and take pride in what it means to be a Vermilion Tanager.
And that's well said, Coach. And of course, last year, I'm sure that you kind of felt there were, some glimpses, some bits and pieces. Now for you guys, what is it going to take to really just put it all together?
Yeah, it just goes back to relationship building in the team part of it. The last couple of years we've been below 500, but we're pretty much competitive in every single game. So I'm hoping, like I said, I've alluded to, I have a phenomenal staff. I'm very blessed to be a first-year head coach and to be a young one too as well, but you're only as strong as your staff and the players you have in your program, no matter what I do as the head coach. So I'm blessed to have the staff that I have and the players that I have, and just hoping that the relationship part of it, the buying in, the kind of just the will to win kind of gets you over the hump in some of those games we came up short. We lost a couple games last year by one-score games, but we were right there in the end being competitive. And at the end of the day, every single game, all I ask the kids to do is be competitive and give ourselves a chance in the end. So should be a fun season for the Tanagers. I know I'm looking forward to it, and I think the guys are too.
Awesome. My last question for all three, Coach Bammer and company there. If there's one point where you'd have to say, all right, this is what we need to do for Vermilion to have success, it would be blank. What would you say?
Want to start it up, boys?
Oh.
I'd say I feel like last year we would go into the games with a lot of fire and we'd make big plays right away, but then that fire would quickly die out and like the chemistry would just get lost in the middle of the game. I feel like that's not going to be an issue this year, and if we fix that, I think it'll be a different year.
Mm-hmm. The want, I think just the want to win. That's the biggest difference. Last year we had a little voice in the back of our head saying we couldn't do it, but this year we know we got it.
Coach?
Confidence, and just like I preach every single day, it's for the team. Everything we do, take pride in what's on your chest and on your helmet. Take
awesome.
pride in being a Tanager.
Well, guys, best of luck this season. Going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again
Absolutely.
for stopping by the
Thank
KCAU-9
you.
studio for our Media Day. Awesome. Vermilion Tanagers of South Dakota. Got a matchup here week one, taking on the Orioles out of Lenox. That's our second South Dakota team that we've had a chance to talk to. Of course, Dakota Valley, and our first bunch still to come later today. The Huskies of Elk Point Jefferson, as I mentioned, too, a first-year head coach there for Vermilion. And our next team, we're going to keep this rolling here. First-year head coach Irvine and company. West High, the Wolverines. Always happy to have the green and white here in studio. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for letting us come here and be part of this whole thing.
Absolutely, Coach. We just mentioned first-year head coach.
Yep.
Obviously, a little bit of a different perspective than what you've had. What are some of the things you're really trying to instill and how these guys bought into it?
The biggest thing we want to instill is just working hard, being good teammates, building leadership, and guys are showing up every day and wanting to work.
Sounds good. And one of my favorite names in here, Siouxland, Cash. I didn't make sure I got that one right.
Cash, yep.
Kind of for you guys, what were some of the things that you really wanted to work on this season? How have you attacked the offseason?
I think it was just the general vibes, like West High football. Me being a 3-year player at this point, I think the vibes this year have really picked up, and I think that's really helped us push through this offseason and push through into fall camp.
That's well said. And obviously last year, the season that you guys had, I'm sure there was glimpses of it for you guys last year. But just like I asked for Vermilion, I mean, what is it really going to take for you guys to kind of put it all together?
I think it's just the extra step, doing the little things right, because a lot of times, like one thing I've noticed, I mean, I was a starter last year, and the big thing was like doing the little things right consistently. A lot of times our guys would slip, but I think this year we're gonna be a lot more together. Like we're just gonna have all around better, like clean play.
What do you think?
Basically, almost the same thing.
Coach?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is first of all, we're a little bit smaller squad than some of the schools number-wise, so really like the baseline is just being in shape. We have a lot of guys who are going to be playing both ways. We kind of have to share our athletes between offense and defense, so focusing on that. And then just the general buy-in. I'm pretty impressed this summer. Our kids were willing to work. We got some kids out that honestly haven't played football for a while. There were other athletes in our school, which was kind of a priority of mine to get our athletes out playing football. And I think we accomplished that for the most part. Obviously, there's some, basketball players and some other kids I wish were still out. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with what we have for a turnout right now. And fairly young squad, but we have some older kids that are leaders and are really stepping up in that role. And we're just trying to establish that culture of competitiveness and winning,
And that's great to hear, Coach. And obviously, we can talk about week 1 all day, but the real focus is kind of just right now.
Yep.
Right? You talk about, the buy-in and getting guys to kind of come back and play. I mean, just how much has that been a difference for you early?
One thing that I want to focus on is staying pretty loose. As a coach, I have a tendency myself to get over competitive and kind of, sometimes maybe a little over the top, to be honest. But I want to stay pretty loose with these guys and want them excited to come play football. Obviously the last few years at West have been, a little bit of a struggle on the scoreboard. So I want guys to have fun and come play football. And I honestly believe, like athlete-wise, we're looking pretty good right now. We're developing some guys up front. I like how we're looking at our week 1 matchup, to be honest with you too. Our guys are excited, really wanting to play football right now. So that was a big thing, just get guys excited about football again, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And for you guys, do you almost feel that there's kind of like a new energy, a new fire with the West program?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I just feel like everyone is more together. Like, I fully believe that I can call any one of my guys and they can come help me out with anything. And that's like outside of football as well. So I think I could put my full trust into them, and I haven't felt that type of security before, like in West football.
You're agreeing with them, so that sounds good. All right, hit the nail on the head there. And I like the point you just brought up about that trust and that connectivity. I mean, that really is kind of the foundation, even before the season starts, even before you get on the field. And you mentioned maybe it wasn't like that in the past, but now it is. What is the biggest difference that you've noticed that kind of comes with that?
I think the biggest difference is a lot of guys pick each other up. Like a drop ball, instead of like yelling at each other, like catch the ball. It's more of a come on, bro, you got it next time. Just line back up and let's get ready to work.
And Coach, I mean, we just talked about obviously the last couple of seasons at West, haven't been great, but it's easy to kind of dwell on the past.
Exactly, yeah.
But for you guys, it's certainly not the case. And how have you guys really kind of stayed focused on right now?
To be honest with you, like when it comes down to, we don't really talk about the past. We're all driven towards the future. I tell these kids that all the time. You kind of make your own destiny. So if you want to chart a path forward and be a competitive team, it's on you. In all honesty, our staff has done a pretty good job of that. We got a great staff. We have all of our staff, our employees in our school, they're all in West High, which I think is important for these kids. They're going to be seeing those people through the hallways in their day-to-day lives. It's just we haven't really had that, before, and I think that's good for these kids to see. We have great people coaching our kids, and I was listening to the Vermilion coach earlier. That's a true fact. You're only as good as your staff and the players around you, and we've built, I think that culture of just guys that are excited to come every day and want to help these kids out. So, that's probably what I'm most impressed with this summer. If I had to state on one thing, is our staff. We've had a lot of buy-in, and that's been kind of athletics-wide. Our basketball coach has been at a lot of our summer conditioning and stuff, and just kind of building that culture, to be honest, in our whole athletic program of guys playing multiple sports and wanting to be there.
And obviously a lot of passion for this program on the principles outside of the game and just kind of everything with that. But just talking about physically football here, what are some of the things that you like? I know you talk about the buy-in and just being committed, but just skill-wise, has there really kind of been like an early strength or something you really kind of improved on?
I'm impressed with our skill guys are looking pretty good right now. And up front, we have some physical people that are a couple kids that have came in that have really showed themselves early that they're ready to play both ways of the ball, which is big for us. We look fairly athletic on the perimeter, which I'm pretty impressed with right now, and we're going to utilize that to the best of our advantage. We're going to be, shifty, a little more sleight of hand, and fairly run pass even, and just establish a good line of scrimmage and play football. But overall, I'm just impressed. Our skill guys, and then up front, we've kind of set the tone. As a football team right now, I think we're a nice unit. I think the biggest thing for us is going to be in shape.
because we have a lot of guys playing both ways, and I said that before. I think that's going to be the biggest thing we need to harp on is guys being in shape and being able to really, watch a lot of film and be ready to play both sides of the ball every week.
And I know, Coach, you mentioned the leadership and how important that is too. I know for you guys, really just kind of being that perspective now. You probably were younger before, being freshmen, sophomores, now being a senior. I mean, how does that feel for you, and what does that mean for you to kind of carry that torch for the West program?
I mean, we've had a lot of great seniors through the years, and I fully believe that the leadership role is meant to like step into, and I've kind of slowly eased into it more and more like throughout the summer, and I just think what comes with that leadership role is like trying to keep your guys together most, and I think what comes with that is like staying humble and staying equal-minded.
And my last question for you guys could be a collective question. If you had to kind of pinpoint one thing right now, Sioux City West football, this is what we need to do to continue taking steps in the right direction, what would you say it is?
You guys want to roll on that one first?
I think staying together is the biggest thing, like not bickering at each other and all that.
Basically almost the same thing.
I feel like you guys are on the same wavelength over there, same answers. This is a good thing. Good chemistry.
Just being a unit, yes.
That's what you're working on. I can see it here. Coach, what do you think?
I'm really excited about this football season. Like I said, fairly young team. We got some older guys that are stepping up in that leadership role, but I'm really excited about what our kids have to offer. And like I always say, these kids, there's not a ton of pressure right now, which is kind of fun. There's kind of being the underdogs every week is a fun place to be in, and our kids every week can have that role and go get after it. They don't have that pressure of we've had we're trying to set our own path, and we haven't had that path in the past here. So I think that's kind of the fun culture we have right now. We have a lot of guys trying to play loose and really surprise some people, and I think we will. I'm excited about our team, and the energy is great vibes out of fall camp. We had a little swim day yesterday. Everybody showed up. We splashed around. Coaches got in the pool over at Riverside. And it was just kind of like you sat there and watched it. It was as a collective unit, the kids have really come together. So I'm impressed with that.
So the Wolverines taking care of business, but having some fun in the mix.
Exactly.
Swim day, how about that? Great weather for it, too. Well, coaching company, it's always a pleasure having you guys. Thanks so much for stopping by our high school football media day.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course, week one. Of course, we talked about the Wolverines having a chance to get in the win column in a big way. They take on Council Bluffs and Jefferson. The Wolverines starting the season on the road. Just one of a handful of exciting games here to start the season. They will also play a couple of games here in the metro area. Of course, we talk about an opportunity to play South Sioux City out of Nebraska there in a couple of seasons. Also, Sergeant Bluff-Luton on the docket here in October, and they will play the Stars of Sioux City North here in September. Obviously, a lot of great games, and we are going to have a lot to cover here on Sports Zone, starting, of course, right here on KCAU-9 Sports on August 29th. Well, as you can see, there are a lot of great teams and a lot of great storylines. Of course, we talk about teams like Sergeant Bluff-Luton, who went to state last year. They're looking to continue building on that. And, of course, as you heard Coach Smith and company, they're not satisfied. We had, of course, Sioux City West just now. They're looking to kind of flip the script on the season that they had last year with some guys returning that have really bought into the program. Of course, we talked to another first-year head coach, a couple actually on the show so far, the Cherokee Braves, who had one of the best seasons they've had in a very long time, their most wins in a single season since 2015. They, of course, lost to Spirit Lake by 4 in the playoffs last year, but if you heard the Braves, they are certainly fueled for a great 2025. And then the Vermilion Tanagers, of course, out of South Dakota. Some really cool stuff from there. Of course, we mentioned like a funny story, actually. So back in our 2 days coverage here in 2023, I believe it was my first year here. So I went out to shoot the Vermilion Tanagers practice, and I went to their football field, and nobody was there. So I found out, actually, they had some pretty heavy rainfall, and they practiced in their high school parking lot. So, I shot some football in some pretty cool places, and, that might actually be up there. So that was a funny story. Obviously, we talked about Sioux City East and a lot of other schools, but still to come, of course, some more out of South Dakota. Of course, we have Bishop Heelan among some others in Iowa. And, of course, a lot of schools here in Nebraska, both large and small schools. We'll have that coming up here shortly. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more from our 2025 High School Football Media Day here at KCAU-9 News.